and check out the situation with running these jack points in the plastic. I recently scanned the entire underside of my daily driver and weekend drift monster, Tesla Model 3, because like any drifter that uses the full track, we dirt drop. This is the result of the scan. I took the rocker panels off. I designed rail sliders similar to a skateboard deck to be machined out of UHMW, the same tough and slippery stuff that you would see underneath pro off-road vehicles. Unlike customers that scrape boxed-in frame rails and exhaust pipes, I've got a lot more to lose. After I designed the parts and before they could be CNC machined, my frame rails got pretty banged up just by rigorous testing over speed bumps and driveways of light springs on this heavy car. And the OEM rocker covers definitely felt the pain.
Hey, what's up guys? Another update with the Tesla build. So ever since we lowered it on coilovers, we've been worried about the battery pack scraping and stuff like that. We want to protect the pinch welds. We thought the best solution for that would be a big UHMW slider. This will just kind of fill in a cavity that's already there and just really reinforce what would be the frame rail. But since these cars are perfectly flat on the bottom and the center of it is all the battery pack, it's pretty vulnerable. We wanted to do whatever we could to really prevent any catastrophic damage to the battery. So these are UHMW, which means they're going to be super slippery, so they really shouldn't get caught and drag on anything. And they are pocketed for the factory jack points here, so everything is nice and flush against the frame of the car, so it shouldn't create any weird denting or anything like that. It should be uniform pressure. And apart from that, Teslas are really difficult sometimes because the only way to get them up in the air is the 4 jack points. There's no other frame rail or any structural point underneath that you can pick up on. So hopefully with this, it'll give us a little bit more flexibility with getting the car up in the air for the future. Alright, so taking a closer look at these are secured to the car using the factory battery pack mounting locations. With the supplied hardware, it is critical when we're installing these though, that you leave the 2 bolts on each side in place. These are pocketed out for them. You just want to make sure that your battery pack stays up there. I mean, you don't want that moving around on you. Other than that, you can see that these are fully pocketed out and CNC'd, and they have all the features. This is for the pinch weld right here, so it'll be a nice flush bottom. So this is the bottom here. This is going to line up with your factory jack point, and then these are going to be the mounting holes. In between them, there's going to be those pockets that I said you need to leave the hardware. That would be these 2. And yeah, so the bottom's going to be perfectly flat, perfectly smooth all the way down, just like the rest of the car. So there is a factory trim piece that will need to be cut slightly for this. So with that, let's go see how everything looks on the Tesla. Alright, so we're underneath the Tesla now, and I just wanted to go over those 2 bolts I was talking about that we need to leave in. So you'll see here that they're pocketed, but it's not a through hole like all the other mounting locations. You're going to leave in bolt 1, 2, leave that one in, 4, 5, leave 6 in, 7, 8. Alright, so we just threw the new sliders up there. Really happy with the first fit up. Everything went in smoothly. Everything lined up exactly how we thought it would. Like we were saying, it does just kind of give it a nice flat bottom, and then getting it back up on the jacks and stuff like that and up on a lift is a lot simpler. Take a look from the outside. You'll see how it actually goes a fair amount below your pinch weld. That way you stay good and safe there, and gives you a little buffer for the center portion. So overall, really happy with the initial fit up. So this is the factory trim piece we just have to cut for the UHMW. Here's just some good evidence of why we have to do it. The low point on the car right now is the pinch welds. So when you're crawling into a driveway or anything like that, the first thing that actually clips is the pinch weld. So it's punched through this piece of plastic a few times. And now we're just going to get a more permanent solution. But yeah, you can find the line to cut right on the inside here. They're molded in, and these just ride right against the factory pinch weld. So you can just cut right along those, and I just used a piece of tape to transcribe it. And next we're going to see how they all fit up on the car. Just doing the finalization on the install. We finally got these little trim pieces here on the side all finished up. Everything's looking good. Those OEM clips actually worked out okay. Everything seems to be holding in place totally fine, so we're pretty happy with that. So up here you can see that it's like nicely contoured to pick up like the front of the pinch weld, so you don't damage that like we did on the other side. And then it's a nice smooth transition down to the rest of it. And then it's a nice straight profile all the way down. So it's really easy to trim this piece, make it look nice and clean. And then here's the back. I trimmed it around, but we were actually able to retain the two like body clips. So that's gonna help hold it up. As you can see, we've already dragged this portion of the car a fair amount. So just another indication of how useful these sliders are gonna be. So the last thing, now that we've taken to the track and stuff, we realize like really how sensitive these cars are. So if you ever loop your car on track or go a little bit deep in a corner and put the back end off, you'll know that like board slide sensation. And that's okay on most like unibody cars because you'd be sliding across like effectively some sort of frame rail or like strong metal structure underneath the car, and the worst that's going to happen is you're going to like ding up your exhaust or something along those lines. But as you can see on this car, if you were to throw the back end off and kind of board slide it, it really wouldn't take that much to have a direct impact on what is the battery cell. So we really want to make sure that these are safe vehicles now that they're going to be out on the tracks. And for us, that's like a #1 priority, is making sure that the very vulnerable undersides of these cars are as protected as well as possible without being like intrusive, like ride height wise or anything like that. And as you may or may not know, like Tracks are actually changing their policies on EVs recently because they are so hard to put the battery fires out. They're changing a lot of like their regulations and stuff like that. So something like this, some preventative measures are really only going to help these cars like breach into the motorsports industry, and we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. Yeah, and make them really safe. All right guys, I think that does it for this install. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.